The Raw after Mania has come and gone, and I thought overall the show was okay. It wasn't anything spectacular. I didn't really think they did anything crazy. They didn't set the tone for Backlash. They didn't really forward anything crazy when it comes to Cody Rhodes setting up new challengers. They did tease a lot of stuff. I do think that we are going to be looking at a slow burn when it comes to a lot of storylines for WWE. Don't get me wrong, they did set up some stuff, like we're looking at new challengers for the World Heavyweight title, but a lot of this was post WrestleMania, looking at Cody Rhodes as the champion. We did get a very big, long segment of The Rock and Cody in the ring. That, while I think was probably the height of Monday Night Raw for me last night, it also went very, very long, and they did tease some stuff. But today, we're doing Raw takes. So we're answering some of your questions, what you guys posted for feedback, things that you brought up from this past Monday Night Raw. And if you guys end up enjoying videos like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, because it goes a long way to support the channel. Red Angry Birdie says, the worst Raw after Mania. Oh my. Rock absolutely wasted the huge time he was given, and he did absolutely nothing with that. No returns, only the NXT champions getting some spotlight. Overall, the show was mediocre, except that Punk part at the end, because CM Punk makes everything interesting. I like that Punk came back. I feel it was also kind of mediocre. I didn't really fall in love with this episode. I was probably expecting a lot more. Maybe my expectations were too high because we just came off WrestleMania. I was actually hoping that we were going to see things like brand new titles introduced, like Cody would come out. He came out with the American Nightmare side plates on his belt. Maybe we are going to get a new belt, but maybe they're going to wait till after the draft to introduce it. I thought tonight they should have done that at least. Cody being presented by Triple H, a brand new WWE championship would have been really nice. The tag titles didn't even get a new rebrand. I was hoping they would introduce a new women's mid-card title. Maybe I just had my expectations too high, but I did feel like the Raw after Mania is not like it used to be. It feels like 10 plus years ago, Raw after Mania was who's getting called up, who's gonna show up, who's gonna debut. The really, really out there guesses of MJF showing up, which no. But we had things like the cash-ins of Dolph Ziggler Raw after Mania, FTR or the Revival would debut on main roster. You know, we had some fun, cool stuff happen. So even title changes on Raw after Mania. I don't feel like the show really delivered that much. Phenomenal Elite Basketball says this Raw after Mania was average at best. At least it was better than last year's though. 100%. Last year's Raw after Mania was also, I believe, it was overthrown and run by Vince McMahon. He came in or came back when he's mid-time off, and then he just took over the whole show from Triple H. And that show felt uneven, uninspiring, very, very bland. It was pretty bad. Like, that was a bad Raw after Mania. This wasn't bad. It just wasn't it didn't do very much. Slam6391, what is our next story for Roman Reigns? I think Roman takes a lot of time off. Like, a lot. Maybe he comes back at SummerSlam. Maybe. I'm gonna do another video on what's next for Roman and Rock and all of that. I think Roman goes away for quite a while. The thing is, though, is that when Roman eventually does come back, it's probably gonna be a giant babyface, no matter what they do. And I think it is going to be the time to turn Roman into a giant babyface for the company. I do think that Roman Reigns does say bye-bye for a very long time. Again, maybe SummerSlam he could peak again, come back to set up things for WrestleMania 41. But you don't need Roman right now. And I think it would muddy the waters a little bit, to be honest. If Roman just showed up next month, then what was this all for? You need Roman Reigns to go away for quite a while. No, I don't think he's going to show up in France, Money in the Bank in Toronto, maybe SummerSlam. That's what I see. Cody is now the guy. You're going to need to run with him, and you need to establish Cody even more as the guy with winning matches, with defending his title, and maybe even trying to move away from the Bloodline story for a little bit until they kind of swing it all back around. Noah Jones says, Jay is not the right opponent for Priest. It should be Rollins. Well, I mean, so we had the Fatal 4-Way match last night, which I think that was probably the highlight of Raw for me outside of like the opening segment, that even though it went a little too long for me. But the Fatal 4-Way was a lot of fun. Ricochet's 450 though. Ouch. Like his stomach just smashed on the table. It was disgusting. But I think Jay needs that. Because he beat his brother at WrestleMania. He was successful. The match was whatever. It was kind of not good. But I think Jay is a good contender because you have the Drew McIntyre CM Punk story happening where CM Punk got in the end and Drew had that thing won. CM Punk interfered. So they got that going on. Now you can get Drew McIntyre even more obsessed with CM Punk. Priest needs to get to establish himself as world champion, and what kind of champion he's going to be. I think Jay versus Priest will be a really good match, but they're gonna have to establish this thing where Jay is a formidable main event contender for the world title. Priest is gonna win, probably by shenanigans of Judgment Day to retain. But if should it be Rollins? I honestly, and it seems like based on reports, Rollins is gonna take time off. I think he should, whether it's just to heal up, but I think Rollins did so much in retrospect of WrestleMania weekend. The tag team match, dropping the title, coming back at the very end with the Shield gear, getting hit by Roman, all within the context of story. Seth did so much, and I think that is a good time, it's a good opportunity to take Seth out of TV, get him away for a long time, refresh Seth. Because when Seth comes back, in my opinion, Seth will be an even bigger babyface. If they want to do that, maybe they're going to make him a heel. But I think that they could get Seth Rollins on an even bigger level because of what he did throughout the whole weekend, and fans recognizing just how important Seth Rollins' role was with all of this, laying the groundwork for everything that has unfolded and this new era of WWE. BLS says this didn't feel like a Raw after Mania, just some legend spots, no returns, and some NXT call-ups. I had higher expectations. I did too. The NXT we didn't get NXT call-ups. Like Ilya came out, right? And Roxanne Perez came out, and they're just more to showcase what they're going to do, but they did highlight that they're going to be made available. I don't know if Roxanne was, but they're Ilya for sure made available for the draft that's coming up at the end of April. So I think it was more like, hey, here's our NXT champions. Here we go. Let's showcase them a little bit, get them familiar. It's the Raw After Mania crowd, so they know who they are, so they will pop. Ilya and Nakamura was a great match. I think that, yeah, you wanted a little bit more. You got John Cena out there, which was fun, like with R-Truth. I think that was fun. So maybe, I don't know, maybe if I watch the Mania Raw back a little bit, maybe I'll look back at it and go, you know what, that actually wasn't that bad. You did get John Cena with R-Truth. It was a fun, silly spot. Pops the crowd. I guess I also was just feeling like I was going to get more. But you got, I mean, if you listed it off, you got The Rock, you got Cody, you got Triple H, you got NXT stars, the champions on TV. You got John Cena. I don't know. It's a healthy mix, but you got a strong main event. Yeah, it was missing that special ingredient. Typical teenager. My highs are Sami and Chad Gable. Matt, did you know the WWE draft is in 3 weeks? Your predictions? Yes, I did know the draft is coming up in 3 weeks. I will do a predictions video for the draft. Draft is my favorite. It's my favorite thing. You get wacky draft picks, predictions that don't make any sense. Overall, like high level predictions, they gotta move some of those titles around. My big question mark is world title on Raw or SmackDown? Do you move Cody to Raw? Do you keep him on SmackDown? Because I'm also looking at where the company is going to be in the next 12 months. Going into next year's WrestleMania, they're gonna have the Netflix deal starting with Raw going into January. Well, that's before WrestleMania 41. I kind of feel like they might put the World Heavyweight title on SmackDown, put Cody Rhodes on Monday Night Raw with that title. Really depends. I like to see some people get shaken up though, like LA Knight go over to Raw, maybe go after the Intercontinental title. I'd like to see maybe Logan Paul, he's got the US title, like Randy Orton, for example. Randy Orton I'd like to see mix it up with Cody. So maybe Randy and LA Knight, they can move over to Monday Night Raw. You do need to shake up a lot of the divisions, I feel. Now we've gone through a full year of this. Shakeups are going to need to happen. The big question mark for me is going to be the main titles, but I'll say right now, World Heavyweight title on SmackDown. Charlie James, who is ready for that UWU, the I guess is the undisputed Winged Eagle title? World WWE Universal Wing title to show up. Yeah, so Cody posted an image of the old Winged Eagle title of his dad's and the Universal Undisputed Championship. So, and he just posted that image. I think we are going to get a brand new belt. I think we're going to get a new hybrid belt of the Winged Eagle with the WWE logo. The World Heavyweight Championship is an homage also. It's a mixed hybrid of the big gold belt and modern with WWE's logo stamped in the middle of it. I've actually seen it in person, like the replica of it. It's actually a beautiful belt. I'm not too nuts with the globe in the middle, but in person, the replica titles, it looks really nice. Cody needs that new belt. I think that the Undisputed Championship, especially that design, that is so cemented to me as a fan with Roman Reigns and everything Roman did for the last like 4 years. That is what I relate that belt with. I relate the red and the blue belts, then melted into the yellowy gold one. all centered around Roman Reigns and Bloodline. And I think that because this is a new era, I think you need to almost say, let's retire that design. Let's do something modern, fresh, that is going to speak to the fans, speak to Cody, represent that, not just the nightmare side plates. We need more than that. So I do think we are going to get a new one. Probably after the draft is when I could see them doing that. Because if they draft Cody to Raw, for example, it's a good chance to have Cody come out and then just say, hey, here's a brand new belt for you, Cody, represent Raw, here you go. Tim Lowndes, what the heck was that Rock Cody promo? I don't think I've ever heard a "this is awkward" chant from the crowd, but they were not wrong. I think it was intentionally awkward. Nothing is done by mistake, especially when you're talking about Cody and The Rock in the ring, those type of guys, that level. It's not done by mistake. That whole "this is awkward," it's The Rock and his delivery and being like, can I hold your belt? It's like, can I touch it? It's like, that's weird, Rock. Why do you want to touch his belt? You have belt. Why do you need other belt? But it's, and then he passed whatever he did. He took some shenanigans out of his pocket and he's like, touch this. There's a lot of like, touch this thing and let me touch that thing. There's a lot of that from The Rock. It was creepy. It was awkward. Yes, but it was all by design. The Rock is going away for a long time. When? Don't know when he'll show up again. Kind of guess SummerSlam. Got some predictions on what we're going to do with The Rock here and what could work. But clearly we are going to set things up, Cody Rock. Like, we need that match. We do as fans, because the beatdown, everything that happened, The Rock's going to want his revenge. Despite Roman Reigns and being out and all that, he's still final boss. And Rock made that point. He's like, I pinned you. Rock holding that title and taking that second to put it over his shoulder, it's all implying that The Rock wants the belt. That he wants to be champion since he's final boss and he is the boss. And now you get a really cool element of where Cody is highlighting that, hey, The Rock, you are TKO. You are the actual boss. You're my actual boss in all of this. And I am your champion, though, whether you like it or not. It sets up some very interesting dynamics where you can actually get fans more behind Cody because he's going against authority Rock, final boss Rock, to keep that momentum of not that Cody's an underdog, but it plays into that of him going against this corporate authority figure in The Rock. Very interested to see what they do. I think it cools off for a few months, but WWE is doing different stuff with storytelling now. It's a little more unpredictable. They're gonna plant seeds, I think, as we go. I think by SummerSlam, we have a much better idea of where they are going to be with the Cody Rock story. But thank you for submitting your questions for Raw Takes this week. Let me know what you thought of Monday Night Raw and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.